Hey Cash Girls fam, and welcome to another Cash Girls fam video. You're gonna here today with your girl Cash Girls in the Cash Girls Corner, and I just want to say a warm welcome to anyone who has joined the Cash Girls fam for this series, The Beginner's Guide to Going Natural. We are on part 3 already, and if you really have been transitioning your hair along the way, I want to congratulate you because we are on part 3 already. Today's a pretty exciting and insightful video. I know when I started my natural hair journey, it was really hard to know what products to pick. So last week we talked about what kinds of products we need, whether that's a deep conditioner or a leave-in product, a gel, what kinds of products, right? And then this week we're gonna focus on what ingredients those products should have to help you make those decisions when you're looking at multiple products on a shelf. Based off of the ingredients, which is really important. So today I'm gonna go over how those labels work for you and what ingredients to watch out for. This is something that I wish I knew in beginning my journey and has been so helpful ever since I learned. So I wanna definitely share this information with you guys. But first, before we get into the juicy stuff, make sure you subscribe to my channel, join the Cash Girls fam. We are continuously growing and it really means a lot to me. Keep it up, keep them coming, tell your friends about it. I'm really excited for this channel to keep growing. So the first thing I want to cover is the labeling in itself before we even get into ingredients. The front of the bottle or product is always made from the marketers and the back is made for you. That is a little rule that I always tell myself, so I never get too wrapped up on what the front of the bottle says or the front of the packaging says, but instead what the back or the side say. And I say that because the front is used for marketing, right? It's used to draw the customer in. They're gonna say good things like coconut oil. They're gonna say good things like for curly girls. They're gonna say good things like moisturizing or certain oils that you're familiar with, because marketers know what we want to buy, right? So that's gonna always be in the front and confuse us into picking up products that sometimes may not even include what they're promising. So instead of checking the front of the label, no matter how pretty it is, I encourage you to go to either the sides, like on this product, or the backs, like on most shampoos and conditioners. And that's where you're gonna get your real information from. The real tea is gonna come from here. And I say that because that's where the ingredients typically are. And so that's where you wanna focus in on. You wanna focus in on not what the product's saying it's gonna do or saying it's made for, but who it's actually made for, what's actually inside of it. There are 3 different little tips I have on packaging before I get into what to look out for. So 1, there's always a little picture on most hair products of a little product bottle open. It'll either say 6M or 12M. That will indicate to you how long your product will last on its shelf once it's opened. So that's not to say that while it was sitting at Target, you need to calculate how long it was there. But once you've opened it yourself, once you've opened it at home, how long you have to use the product. That way, you make sure you're not keeping products that are expired, because curly hair products do expire, and it's something that some of us forget that our hair products expire just like anything else, just like food and things like that. So you do want to, once you've had a product for a while, start to examine that the consistency and everything is up to par, and then that date, whether it's a 6M or 12M, hasn't passed. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is that when you're reading through the ingredients tab on a product, and I'll give you an example of up here. The products that are listed in the beginning are what the product is most concentrated with. So if a product is claiming to be super rich in coconut oil and blah, 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 right? Not saying this product definitely has coconut oil in it. So I'm not referencing this product, but just in general. If a product says blah, 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 coconut oil, and it's at the bottom of the product list, chances are the amount of coconut oil that's actually in the product is very little to basically none. So what you want to do is really concentrate on the ingredients at the top of the list versus the bottom of the list. Although they're still incorporated into the product somewhat, the ones at the top are what are actually making up the product. And the last tip I suggest is doing price search dash review. So anytime I'm purchasing a new product, if I didn't already go in there like anticipating buying it based on a review I've seen, I'll quickly search up the title, look it up on Google, and it'll show me some reviews. And if I see a lot of positive things about it, I may pick it up. But if I see some like iffy reviews, I'll put it back. It's just like anything else. If I was going to buy a new TV or a new laptop, I would do some research on it first and see what other people said about it, see what other people's experience were like using it. Kind of like YouTube. You guys are here to watch my video and see my experience with different products, and I let you know my honest opinion on them, and then you either go buy them or you don't, but same kind of thing. So now let's get into what you don't want to see up in your ingredients. There are 4 main categories of things you definitely don't want to see in your products, and I'm going to cover them because I definitely think some of these are overlooked. Some of them sound a little bit like they would be good for your hair, but actually aren't. So the first one, I'm pretty sure you've heard of it before, and that's silicones. So silicones. Why are they bad for your hair, other than the fact that every curly girl tells you to stay away from them? Silicones are actually hydrophobic. And if you don't know what that means, it means that the silicones repel water. Anytime you're applying a product with silicones on your hair, it's not retaining any moisture because it's forming a seal that's not letting anything else in. So it's actually really bad for your hair. It also affects the stability of your hair follicles itself and creates a higher percentage in likability that your hair is going to break because it's not really receiving any of the moisture that you're placing into your hair. Instead, it makes your hair really flimsy and more likely to break off. So silicones are definitely a no-no, and I'm going to tell you not only that silicones are bad, but I'm going to tell you some words or ingredients to look out for because they're not always going to come out and just say silicone. So some of the most popular silicones that I heard of that you probably may have or maybe don't even know about are dimethicone and amodimethicone. So they're definitely 2 of the top silicones to look out for in a product. And dimethicone, believe it or not, is in a lot of products labeled for curly girls, for girls with curls. And I actually did a huge, basically like a huge throw out process when I first learned about this in my natural journey about 2 years ago, and I threw out so many of my products that had dimethicone in it, even products from brands that we all know and love. There's a whole bunch of other silicones, but basically what you want to look out for are ingredients that end in either cone or hexane, and those will kind of be indications that they are silicone-based ingredients. Now, the next category of ingredients you're going to want to avoid are drying alcohols. Now, I know that sounds kind of obvious. If you saw on a bottle something that said includes drying alcohols, you're probably not going to pick it up. But marketers are a lot smarter than that. They're not just going to come out flat and say drying alcohols. They're going to say things like it dries your hair faster, or quick working hair products, or like less drying time, you know, stuff like that to kind of confuse you into thinking it's actually good for your hair. But the downside to, although your wash and go is going to dry a little bit faster, the downside to that is it's drying faster because those chemicals are designed to quickly absorb all of that moisture, again, just like your silicones, leaving your hair really dry. So some forms of this are isopropyl alcohol, ethanol, even things like witch hazel, guys, which I don't think I've seen that commonly in hair products, but things like witch hazel as well are really bad for your hair. This next ingredient I know, or kind of ingredient I should say, I know you guys have heard of it before, and that is our friend, well, not really, sulfates. Sulfates is one of those that you just constantly hear, like it's like paraben sulfates. I think even this product mentions no parabens, no sulfates, no mineral oils, things like that. So like sulfates is one of those that even to this point, marketers have realized we should advocate that we don't have sulfates in our product because they're just not good for your hair. Oftentimes, sulfates are going to sneak up into your shampoos and cleansers more often than a styler. And if they're in a styler, run. Because there's literally no reason why sulfates should be included in a styler. Why do some products have sulfates? It's simple. Sulfates are basically really great at getting that dead skin, those dead skin cells, all the clumpage and stuff you might have in your hair from like weeks before, from the week of not washing your hair and things like that. And it does a really great job of cleaning your scalp, but in exchange for that, it strips all of the natural oils from your hair. So again, another kind of ingredient you want to avoid, because it's going to, again, you guys know by now, what's going to do to your hair? Leave it dry and brittle, which equals flaky hair, which equals weak hair, which equals no hair eventually, because your hair is just going to continue to break off. So you want to stay away from sulfates. I will say every once in a while, once a month basically, it is okay to use a shampoo that has some kind of sulfate in it, just so that you can get that really squeaky clean scrub. But it's definitely not a good idea to continuously use a shampoo that has sulfates in it, because of, like I said, it's going to strip your hair of all those natural oils, and you just don't want that. So then our last category of kinds of ingredients you want to avoid is kind of like that miscellaneous category. It's like from waxes to like whatever. And this category has a lot of different products in it. One being beeswax. And I want to mention beeswax first because I don't know about you guys, but when I heard something like beeswax, or I see beeswax on a product ingredient list, I'm thinking like, oh, that must be good for your hair, just because I think of like, oh, natural and stuff like that. But actually, you want to watch out for waxes and other things like that in your products, because the thing with waxes is it creates an illusion, right? So you put something like up in a product that has ingredients like beeswax in your hair, and your hair is going to look really shiny, but really it's a coating over your hair follicles. And what it's doing is it's blocking in, yet again, blocking in any moisture from coming into your hair. So it's definitely something else to look out for. Beeswax isn't the only ingredient there that I would say to watch out for. So other ingredients like Candelia wax, mineral oil, things like that, you're gonna also wanna look out for. They're just as bad as beeswax and leave a coating on your hair that makes it really hard for anything else to penetrate inside. So although they may be those products that give you that shine, it's actually not doing anything good for your hair. So Cash Girls fam, I hope the next time you go into Target, CVS, Walgreens, Ulta, Sephora, wherever you go to get your curly hair products, you'll think of me, Cash Curls, and you'll think about some of the Cash Curls rules here about the packaging. You'll check the back or the sides over the front of the bottle. You'll be sure to make sure that you check the shelf life of the product. You'll read up on some reviews. You'll watch one of my videos on the product if I have one up, which I probably do, and you'll remember to avoid some of the ingredients that I mentioned today if you want to follow the curly girl method and do best practices when going natural. This video was really fun to create, and I hope you guys all learned something. Thank you again for tuning in, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel to be a part of the Cash Curls fam. I will see you guys next week in part 4 of the Beginner's Guide to Going Natural series. Bye, Cash Curls fam.